I'm Dr. Finley Catrone, Associate Professor in the William F. Harrah College of Hospitality at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Are you thinking about a career in hospitality and tourism leadership? We've created a series of introductory video lectures to help you explore career opportunities. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that global travel and tourism amounted to $11.1 trillion in 2024. The industry is expected to support approximately 348 million jobs globally this year. In the hospitality industry, we create great experiences for people, whether in hotels, restaurants, event planning, integrated resorts, or other tourism-related entities. When we think about careers in hospitality, though, most of us think of customer service roles in hotels and restaurants, which is true. But career opportunities are so much broader than that. What are you interested in? What is your ideal profession? Because we have careers in that. Hospitality is a business, of course, but it is also an art and a science. From hotel management and food and beverage leadership to meetings and events management and luxury experiences, hospitality is a dynamic field with opportunities worldwide, offering an endless list of managerial and leadership roles. Do you hope to become a director of finance or revenue, or maybe director of marketing, or a vice president of hotel operations? Maybe you're interested in casino operations or golf. Hospitality careers are varied and exciting. If you enjoy working with people, problem solving, and a fast-paced environment, hospitality could be the perfect career path for you. And there is no better place to study than the entertainment and tourism capital of the world. We have undergraduate and graduate programs both on campus and online. The Harrah College of Hospitality, the #1 hospitality program in the U.S. and top 3 in the world, is the ideal stepping stone to building your career.
Hello, and welcome. This presentation hopes to share insights with you on how higher education and hospitality can serve you in unexpected ways. My name is Glenn Nowak, and I'm an architect in the state of Nevada with design experience on projects from the Strip in Las Vegas to states across the United States and overseas. What is unique about the architecture of hospitality is that most of its design features are learned on the job. Few schools teach the specifics of any archetype, and the integrated resorts found in growing tourist markets around the world are among the most complex you'll find anywhere. Only in recent years, and at places like UNLV, have disciplines like hospitality administration informed others like architecture to more fully prepare students and emerging professionals for the challenges and opportunities of the fun economy. To help illustrate the full effect of designing with omotenashi, it may be best to share some examples of traditional building design and architectural education that may be lacking in its application of hospitality principles. Architecture students learn how to draw, model, detail, and specify materials that come together to make up a building. They are taught how to integrate building systems, including structural systems like wood, concrete, and steel frames, mechanical systems, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, electrical systems like lighting, security, and emergency, plumbing systems, hot and cold water, sewage and irrigation, and many more. In most countries, prospective architects must fulfill 3 requirements, the 3 E's: education, experience, and examination. The education is often a 5-year bachelor's degree or a 4-year bachelor's plus a 2-year master's, like we have here at UNLV. Of interest to some of you may be the option for students coming from non-architecture majors, hospitality administration, for example, to then apply for a 3-year master's program that prepares you to become an architect. This is noteworthy because the hospitality and entertainment industry is a $4 trillion economy, and having more industry experts as a part of the design team can only improve the architectural results. The experience portion is a formal internship or apprenticeship, often lasting 3 to 5 years. In the US and several other jurisdictions, 3,740 hours of experiences are tracked across 96 different tasks in 6 thematic areas of practice. Then, passing a 6-part architect registration exam, usually a months-long process, completes the emerging professional's path to licensure, and they get sworn in as architects, taking an oath to uphold the health, safety, and welfare of the public. While licensure is a huge accomplishment, it is also merely marking minimum competency. It signals that architects will design technically sound, safe buildings. It does not ensure that buildings excite. So the vast majority of buildings in the world, quite frankly, are boring. Most houses are kind of boring. Most offices, also boring. Most schools, sadly, they don't really excite. But then there is hospitality. An emphasis on beauty is paramount, and fun is the first priority. Architects are trained to design buildings, but when working within the hospitality industry and with a hospitality mindset, architects and hospitality design professionals elevate the built environment and our experiences within them. Learning from Las Vegas is one of the most famous design theory books of the 20th century. It was written by visiting architecture students and faculty from Yale, and it came out over 50 years ago following their field trip of just a few weeks. While some universities take fleeting interests in Las Vegas, UNLV College of Hospitality and the School of Architecture show what is capable when being fully immersed in the entertainment capital of the world. Now, every year, UNLV architecture students examine the built environments of Las Vegas and other tourist destinations around the world through the lens of a hospitality researcher. Knowledge of the operational side of the industry, along with research trends in academia, lead to architectural design experimentation that address the challenges and opportunities in hospitality. The cross-disciplinary nature of hospitality leads to very thought-provoking design proposals. The UNLV Library's Digital Scholarship Collection showcases the Graduate Hospitality Design, or HD, capstones. This archive of downloadable design work has been referenced by people all over the world and offers a preview of future design. This presentation will share some examples from the collection to help illustrate the breadth of hospitality design and the importance of involving administrative knowledge in the industry with the architectural process. From students' in-depth assessment of existing resort design to proposing brand new architectural models, Las Vegas is like a living laboratory. This graduate student work conducted a comprehensive analysis of all resorts on the Strip to better understand the typical approach to designing integrated resorts. This is akin to conducting a literature review in other fields or a case study. We see analysis of resort floor plans and tower elevations, their size, layout, height, and other features. We see the pragmatic makeup of the entire property, the number of rooms, the casino floor area, restaurant count, bars, convention space, and more. Such studies help students understand norms in design in Las Vegas and have led to studies that broaden the program's scope. This study of community-integrated resorts looks at ways resorts around the world have adapted to fit the local context. Hospitality design research also looks for ways to better connect hospitality projects with opportunities in surrounding neighborhoods. Just as hotel companies may have social outreach programs, architectural design can include physical extensions of those initiatives to contribute to the betterment of society. Here we see how resorts in other countries are designed to enhance visitation to nearby places of interest, bolster public transportation, and even promote sustainable design practices. In the early years of integrated resorts entering the Singapore market, student design research in hospitality was featured at the former UNLV Singapore campus. Opportunities to innovate convention and meeting facilities were identified as worthwhile tests for scaled prototypes. This was particularly helpful for the hospitality designers in the US to recognize how cultural differences were interpreted in a way that impacted the physical building of integrated resorts Marina Bay and Sentosa. These cultural differences also resulted in a different approach to designing casino spaces within these resorts. It is these kinds of immersive experiences that lead to more and more design explorations focused on hospitality and entertainment architecture around the world. Research has shown millennials and younger generations are less interested in slot machines than the baby boomers that built many of the casinos and integrated resorts in Las Vegas. They prefer more social forms of gaming and value unique experiences. This design study questions how commensurate amount of casino space could be reimagined to transition traditional forms of gambling to align with emerging trends of global travelers. Taylor's review of precedents shows unique casino design efforts in the past attracted tourists from far and wide. Analysis also shows why the same forms of leisure may not yield comparable outcomes today. Instead of compartmentalizing servicescape according to slots versus table games, or penny slots versus high limit and sports books versus bingo, the design explorations begin with conceptualizing complementary activities integrated into the built environment. A gaming space for the outdoor enthusiast, or machines that make you feel more connected to everyone in the room, or entertainment for people that might identify with particular brands, are among the unorthodox jumping-off points of design processes aimed at innovating spaces that might not be evolving as fast as their users. In Kristen's study, we see how emerging design professionals are picking up on the growing importance of health and wellness, and they show how the buildings where we live, work, and play impact our overall well-being. Humans now spend over 90% of their time indoors, so it is increasingly important to design for physical and mental health. Everything from color palette to lighting levels, room proportions, and connection to outdoors have an impact on occupants. These kinds of studies point to opportunities to do things very differently than the way they have always been done, especially as integrated resorts expand into new areas across the globe. As you can imagine, the Hospitality Design Studio has been following news of jurisdictions new to gaming, and they are hard at work trying to anticipate the kinds of design changes that would need to take place to adapt the unique archetype of integrated resorts to the various customs and clientele of each venue. From translating light and shadow into Akari and Kuriyama, as seen in this integrated resort for Japan that integrates concepts of the Japanese garden, hospitality designers draw inspiration from indigenous art for their architectural concepts. In Rio de Janeiro, fado describes the notion of fate and is a traditional music popular among the growing middle class in Brazil. Designs here emphasize the culture's acceptance of skill-based games and sports betting. It also illustrates how the sportsbook could double as a musical entertainment venue in the emerging integrated resort market. In architectural studies of Greece, local concerns surrounding business cannibalization led to focused design efforts to show how everything from local building materials and local business could be integral parts of the construction and operation of a resort in Athens. It's funny how many tourists seem surprised to hear people live in Las Vegas, as if it's just a city of hotels with no local community. It is even more curious to think about how well the hospitality and service industry achieves a kind of disappearing act through its elaborate back-of-house operations. Through an effort to better understand how the back-of-house spaces work and explore potential opportunities to improve them, this graduate student shares his unique approach in a book that may appeal equally to architects and hospitality administrators. In the age of corporate social responsibility and research on the importance of employee satisfaction or job performance, customer loyalty, and overall profitability, this study takes a unique look at the design of integrated resorts by rethinking the building's first impression from the perspective of its workers. In a series of design analyses, readers can see how attention to small details could translate into big impacts on the company's overall performance. The book is about much more than the redesign of employee entrances. It illustrates a process for going beyond value engineering our built environments by reconnecting design decisions to a more holistic hierarchy of human needs. With the opulence afforded to guests, the question of how much more could or should be done to welcome employees each day led to site visits that shone a spotlight on the niceties built in for resort team members. Design considers employee needs and wants and tries to strike a balance between capital investment and overall impact. Many of the best practices seen in Las Vegas may expand as the industry grows. Subtle advances in technology can have huge impacts on the built environment. Uber and Lyft, for instance, have forced taxi lanes and valet drop-offs to evolve around our hotels and resorts. This graduate student questions how any resort's entry sequence might change considering autonomous vehicles, and he theorizes that a property's essential characteristics might drive the applications or methods of vehicle integration. Does it become a new focal point? Does it reinforce what is already there? Or does it quietly take its place in the back of house, improving overall efficiency of the guest experience? While there is probably no wrong way to integrate autonomous vehicles, there are likely less thoughtful ones than others. In the hospitality business, it pays to think about these things very carefully, and this student has chosen examples wisely. At the Bellagio, in the same way the fountains have drawn on opportunities to create a spectacle, the orchestrated arrival of guests in autonomous vehicles could augment or even become the spectacles themselves. This kind of potential exists in properties that place a premium on the public engagement from the street. City Center presents an option to have continuous smart cars traveling along the repurposed monorail route. The Caesars Palace case study capitalizes on the safety features of autonomous vehicles and recreates the feel of Roman streets, which also creates a more welcoming pedestrian entry sequence and allows for building expansion on a densely developed site. This study gives us a great sense of the vehicle occupant experience and could consider how the innumerable onlookers might become an extension of the design theme. Here, more attention is given to the quality of the drive and the visual experience of passengers. Esports is one of the fastest growing forms of entertainment, and through COVID-19, it proved to be nearly pandemic-proof. With almost all high school, collegiate, and professional sporting events canceled, many esports were able to continue as the competitors or athletes could remotely compete with one another. Architecturally, however, many of the major esports venues remained shuttered. This study saw the opportunity to not simply design an esports arena. The Strip already has a spectacular one, and it is arguably still in its experimental phases, but to envision how to accommodate the millions of esports participants into the built environments of our everyday experiences. Like much online entertainment, esports are essentially available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and places everywhere are becoming the backdrop for esports engagement. The question emerges, to what extent can different archetypes cater to the needs of this growing population? Key spatial characteristics were identified to support the enjoyment of esports as a recreational activity. Jerry sought to implement them into distinct areas of the Las Vegas community. Esports venues woven into shopping districts, college campuses, and the guest towers of hotel properties hosting esports events. In hospitality administration, you learn a lot about environmental sustainability. In this example, the economics of sustainable food sources, or the lack thereof, here in the Mojave Desert of Las Vegas, is explored in creative ways to adapt water features found throughout the tourist corridor into food production features. Las Vegas imports nearly all of its food from hundreds or even thousands of miles away. Urban farming and vertical farming is not only doable, but when done well, it can attract more guests to a destination. A final example aims to showcase a different side of hospitality and of being hospitable through design. Nearly every major hotel brand has a corporate charitable givings program and community engagement. In the same spirit of hospitality, heightened awareness of design's impact on people and opportunities for inclusivity in the design process has inspired projects from the Hospitality Design Studio that apply principles of hospitality to projects well outside of the integrated resort or hotel archetype. A knowledge of hospitality and the communication skills that come with that can be applied across multiple disciplines. I personally try to bring a spirit of hospitality, or omotenashi, to my classrooms. This is something that I also witnessed in my colleagues in the College of Hospitality. They're always open to students and the questions that they bring to the classroom. Tourism, sports, and entertainment, all a part of the hospitality industry, combine to make a $13 trillion industry. For centuries, the biggest, most expensive buildings were typically temples and cathedrals. Throughout history, architects' talents were dedicated to these most culturally significant structures. Today, integrated resorts are among the most complex and costly buildings we make, and the creativity demanded by global tourists make the study of hospitality design one of the most rewarding. This slide shows the average salary of an architect in the top 15 countries around the world and the top 5 states in the United States. You'll see that Nevada is on the list, particularly because it works so much with the hospitality industry. The top 15 countries for average architect's salary range from $130,000 down to about $72,000 US dollars. And it is worth noting that architects' fees are typically calculated as a percentage of the building's construction costs. So, when you're designing one of the most expensive buildings in the world, you are making one of the largest commissions too. More than the financial gains, The excitement of working on projects in the hospitality industry with people who are dedicated to the business of fun makes the career choice a pleasure for all design professionals all around the world. I'll leave you with these two images of academic buildings on our UNLV main campus. The School of Architecture is where I teach, but Hospitality Hall is where I love to hang out. It was designed by an alum of our School of Architecture, and a driving concept of the design was to model it after a 5-star hotel. Hospitality design sets the stage for the global hospitality industry to thrive.